Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. So today we are going to do the revision of chapter number 9, element, the simplest kind of matter. Basically, this chapter is present in your science book 1, okay, and on page number 100, okay. This is page number 100. On page number 100, you have chapter number 9, simplest kind of what? Simplest kind of matter. Elements are simplest kind of matter, right? Clear? Now, look at here. What does it mean? Element. Element ko they are explaining in the way the simplest kind of matter. So first of all, you should know what is a matter. Okay, you should know what is a matter. What is a matter? Anything which occupies space and has mass. Okay, anything which occupies space and has mass, that will be called as matter. Okay, and all the matter is made up of elements. Okay, all the matter is made up of elements, right? Now look at here. What is an element? What is an element? All matter on earth consists of elements. Number one, every matter, all matter that is present on earth, it consists of elements. Shahruz, there is a difference between weight and mass. There is a difference between weight and, okay, what is matter? What is matter? That has mass and that occupies space. So if you are using instead of mass that you will write weight, so the definition will be wrong. Correct definition of matter is that has mass and it occupies some space. So this is the exact definition of matter. If you use here that weight, so that will be wrong. Okay, because weight and mass both are different thing, right? Now, look at here. All matter on earth consists of elements. Now, what is an element? An element is a substance which cannot be split into two or more simpler substances by chemical reactions. Elements are thus the simplest kind of matter. Now, what you have, just suppose, do you have any element? Just suppose here you have carbon as an element, oxygen, okay, sulfur. So all these things are element. Why we are saying that they are element? Because you cannot further broken down it into another simpler form. Just suppose if you have carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is basically a compound. Okay, why it is a compound? Because it can be broken down into its simpler form, that is carbon and oxygen. But if you want to break down carbon into further pieces, so इस carbon will remain carbon. आप इसके मजीद छोटे छोटे pieces बना दीजिए, so it will remain carbon. You will come bring it into its atomic form, but they will remain carbon. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि carbon टूट के कुछ और बन जाएगा. Here you have carbon dioxide. When you will split it, so after splitting it will convert into carbon and oxygen, but this carbon cannot be further split into more simpler substances by chemical reactions. So this is called as the simplest kind of matter. So element is a substance which cannot be split into simpler substances. Okay, so this is element. Okay, after that, scientists have so far discovered more than 100 elements, about 90. This one is important. More than they have discovered about more than 100 elements. Out of those 100 elements, 90 of these elements occur naturally. Okay, 90 of these elements occur naturally, and while the other are man-made. Some are man-made, but most of them are that occur naturally. 90 plus nahi, 90, only 90 element, only 90 elements are occurred naturally, and after that they have discovered more than 100 of elements, so they are basically man made, right? Okay, as you know that some elements are named after the scientist, is, you know, this is the Einsteinium element. Einsteinium is an element, and you will clearly say that he named after which scientist. Can anyone tell me? Einsteinium is an element, and after which scientist named after this element? Einsteinium. What you have, do you know which famous scientist is the element Einsteinium named after? Sumaya, write it down in the chat box, PT. Sumaya, yes, Albert Einstein, right? Okay, very good. The most abundant element in our universe, if we talk about our universe, okay, we are not talking about the earth, we are talking about the universe. In the universe, the most abundant element are hydrogen and helium. Okay, the most abundant element in our universe are hydrogen and element. And if we talk about the elements earth crust element, the most abundant element in earth crust is oxygen. Okay, so this is important. In the universe, the most abundant elements are hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium are elements. Okay, why they are elements? Because they cannot be broken down into simpler substances, right? So they are the elements, and the most abundant elements in our universe are hydrogen and helium. Similarly, the most abundant element in the earth crust is oxygen, right? As you can see here, you have a pie chart that shows the composition of different elements by mass of the earth crust. So as you can see, our crust have 45% of oxygen, and oxygen is an element. Okay, we are talking about element. Here we are not discussing about solid, liquid and gas. This is an element. Chahe wo solid or whether it is a solid, liquid or gas, all of them are element. Okay, solid, liquid and gases are the states of matter. Okay, and here we are talking about the kind of matter, right? There is a different thing. States are different and kinds are different, right? Now, next is why we are saying that the most abundant element in universe are hydrogen and helium. Why? Because stars are made up of hydrogen and helium, and you know our universe has a lot of stars. So that's why we will say that our universe the most abundant element is hydrogen and helium, and all the stars are also made up of hydrogen and helium, right? Now look at here. Next is classifying elements, the periodic table. Okay, classifying elements, the periodic table. Anyone knows what is periodic table? Okay, now basically what happened after the discovery of so many elements, it was difficult to study all of them separately. So what scientists did, they basically make a chart. Okay, in that chart they classify the elements with respect to their similar properties. Okay, basically made a chart. As you can see here, you have a periodic table on page number what, on page number 103. Okay, this is a periodic table, and in this periodic table, as you can see, different elements are arranged. But what I'm going to tell you is that these elements are not randomly put here. Okay, they do not put the elements randomly here. They are arranged in a way that elements that are present in group. Okay, the elements that are present in groups, this is a group now. Vertical columns are groups. So the elements that are present in groups, they share similar properties. So all the elements, they share similar properties, they placed in a group. Similarly, when you will move, okay, then these are the horizontal columns, or the horizontal rows are basically called as what, periods. And in periods, all the elements have different properties. Some are metal and some are non-metal here, right? Clear? So basically, this is the periodic table in which elements have been arranged by a scientist, and why they arrange the elements to make the study of elements easier, right? Now move back to the topic again. Okay, now at the beginning, so many scientists proposed different types of classification of the element, but it was Mendeleev. Okay, it was Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev whose idea was most successful to arrange the elements in a periodic table. Okay, why? Elements have been placed systematically in the periodic table according to their properties. Number one, why his idea was most successful? Because he placed the elements in the periodic table according to their properties. Number one, after that, each element is represented by a symbol of one or two letters. Okay, why we use symbol? To make the study easier. Okay, for example, hydrogen is H and sodium is Na. Okay, after that, the most important thing is this one. What is it? Every element in the periodic table is given a number called the atomic number. Okay, every element that is present in the periodic table, they given a number, which number is called atomic number. Now, what is atomic number? Anyone know about it? Yes, anyone has idea? Any idea what is atomic number and why is that so much important, and why we placed elements according to their atomic numbers? Number of atoms, really? Hmm? Are you sure? No. Now I'm going to explain what is atomic number and why it is important. Now look at here. In this page number which is 103, in this page, as you can see, all the elements, okay, not number of elements. As you can see, all the elements are placed with respect to their increasing atomic number. This is hydrogen, and the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Okay. Then this is helium, the atomic number of helium is 2. Then this is lithium, the atomic number of lithium is 3. Beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6, okay, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, and neon 10. Similarly, all the elements are arranged in the periodic table with respect to their increasing atomic numbers. Now, what is atomic number and why they are important and why this idea is most successful? Now, look at here. Atomic number, right? Please keep this thing in your mind. Okay, atomic number is the number of protons. What is atomic number? It is the number of proton that is present in nucleus. Okay, what is the atomic number? The number of protons. The number of protons. Students, listen. Now Halima is replying that the number of protons and electrons. No, the number of protons or इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, या तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के नंबर्स को काउंट कर लीजिए या प्रोटॉन्स के नंबर को, बट मोस्ट प्रोबेबली यू हैव टू काउंट द नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स दैट आर प्रेजेंट इन nucleus. Electrons are not present in nucleus, they are present around the nucleus. Okay, inside the nucleus you have protons. Okay, inside the nucleus you have protons, and the total number of protons that are present inside the nucleus, they are called the atomic number of that particular element. Just suppose here you have sulfur. Okay, here you have sulfur. If we talk about sulfur atom, so this is the nucleus of the sulfur. Why it is a nucleus? Because it has a positive charge. Now, why nucleus has positive charge? Because inside the nucleus you have protons that carries positive charge. So in sulfur, if you talk about sulfur, the atomic number is 16. So it means sulfur has 16 protons. Sulfur has 16 protons, and these protons basically represent the atomic number, right? So whether you will count the number of protons or it's up to you, you will count the number of electrons. Both are same, but electrons are present outside the nucleus in the shell. They are continuously revolving around it. Okay, number of protons and electrons are equal in all the elements, but we will consider more protons because electrons को हम क्यों ज़्यादा consider नहीं करते? Because upon chemical reaction sometimes electrons will be gained and sometimes electrons will be loose. Okay, so the number of protons, or okay, whenever you are going to write, so if you are going to explain atomic number, so you will write the number of protons or, okay, I am repeating, the number of protons or electrons. या तो protons के number count कीजिए या फिर electrons के. So that total number of protons or electron is called the atomic number of particular element. Okay, why they uses this one? Okay, why they uses atomic number to arrange the element? Because these are basically specific means each element has a specific number of protons, or it is not possible that if one element have 7 protons, so another element has also 7 protons. Okay, so number of protons is specific to every element and they are not repeat in other elements. Okay, it is not possible that simultaneously two elements have same number of protons. So that's why it is a unique property of each element. That's why they uses atomic number to arrange elements in the periodic table. Right, is it clear why they uses atomic number to arrange the elements? Is it clear why they uses atomic number to arrange the elements in the periodic table? The reason behind it, because it is specific, it is the unique quality of the elements, and at the time two elements do not have the same number of protons. That's the reason behind it. ओके, आई एम रिपीटिंग अगेन, ऐसा नहीं है कि दो एलिमेंट्स के सेम नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स होंगे. All the elements have different number of protons, so that's why this is the most successful idea to arrange the elements in a with respect to their atomic number, and this idea was basically proposed by Mendeleev. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Halima, where are you? Sania? Hmm? Sumaya, Rida, Nuseba, Ali, Arif, Saklan? Beta, why you are not replying? Amna. Okay, after atomic number, there is another property which is called atomic what? Atomic mass. Atomic mass. Okay, now difference between atomic mass and atomic number is what? Can anyone knows? Hmm? Hurry up. Atomic mass. Okay, now I'm going to explain what is atomic mass. Basically, atomic mass lies inside the nucleus of the atom. Okay, inside atomic mass lie inside the nucleus of the atom, and in nucleus what you have two things in nucleus. Number one, proton that has positive charge, and number two, neutrons that carries no charge. Okay, now the total number of protons, okay, the total number of protons and neutrons, or you can say the sum of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of the atom is called their atomic mass. Okay, here we will add them together. Just suppose protons has number of protons are 12 and number of neutrons are 5. So 12 plus 5 is equals to what? 12 plus 5 is equals to hmm? 12 plus 5 is equals to 20. Shahruz, 17. 12 plus 5 is equals to 17. So basically this 17 is the what? This is basically atomic mass. This is what? This is basically atomic mass, and this 12, which is basically the number of protons. So this 12 will tell you what? This, it will tell you atomic number. Okay, number of protons are atomic number, and the sum of protons and neutrons that are present inside the nucleus, this is called atomic mass, right? So this is atomic number and this is atomic mass. Understand? Is it clear? Now, as you can see here on this page, what you have, if you look at clearly at the periodic table, so as you can see here on the left corner top side of the box, you have the number. That number is called atomic number. Okay, this is called atomic number. This is the symbol of the element and this is the name of the element. Similarly, what you have, similarly, if you want to know atomic masses, so most commonly atomic masses lies here. So atomic masses यहाँ लिखे हुए होते हैं, but here they are not showing the atomic masses. But this one is atomic number, which basically tells you the number of protons which carries positive charge. Understand? Clear? Clear? Okay, now Next is this one, the thing that I have explained it. In the periodic table, each vertical column is called a group. Okay, vertical column कौन से हैं आपके पास? This one. These are vertical columns, and vertical columns are basically called groups. Similarly, what is written here? Elements in a group share similar chemical properties. मैंने आपको बताया था कि the elements that are present in group, the elements that are present in group, they have similar chemical properties, right? Similar chemical properties. Similarly, each horizontal row is called a period. Now, what is horizontal row? This one, okay, this is the horizontal row, and this is called periods, right? Now, this one, as we move across a period starting from element to the left to the elements on the right, we will see a gradual change in properties from metallic to non-metallic. Now I'm going to explain this thing. Now look at here, what they are going to tell you, that the elements that are present in groups, they share similar chemical properties. Means in the group, mostly all the elements have similar chemical properties. Just suppose all of them are elements, all of them are metals. These are non-metals, okay? But when you will move from left to right in a periodic table, that when you will move from in a period, so you will see a gradual change in properties. How? From left to right, you can see these are metals and these are non-metals, okay? These are non-metals, right? So elements in the period have different chemical properties, but in the group they have similar chemical properties, right? Is it clear? Now we are going to discuss what are metals and non-metals, okay? Next topic is metals and non-metals. Scientists have classified, okay, scientists have classified elements into two main groups, okay? Scientists have classified elements into two main groups, that are metals and non-metals, okay? Elements divided into two groups. Number one is metals, and the second one is non-metals, right? Now, what are metals? Number one, metallic element. This is important. Kindly mark it. Metallic elements are all solids at room temperature except mercury. All the elements that are metallic in nature. Okay. All the elements that are metallic in nature, they are all solid at room temperature except mercury. And out of the 22 non-metallic elements, only 10 are solids at room temperature. If we talk about the 22 non-metallic elements, okay, how many non-metallic elements are there? 22. So out of this, only 10 are solids at room temperature, okay? Now, next is this one, metals and non-metals. How will you decide that the given thing is metals and non-metals? Now, number one, metals have a shiny appearance. Number one, they have a shiny appearance. High densities. Density is mass divided by volume. Mass per unit volume is called density of the substance. High melting point. What is the melting point? At which point they will start to melt. Okay, melting points क्या होते हैं? Look at here. Just suppose this is a solid. Okay, this is a solid. Any solid. Just suppose it is iron. Okay, this is an iron, and if you want to melt, okay, iron is a solid at room temperature. So if you want to melt it, what you will do, you will provide heat. Okay, heat means आप क्या provide करें? You are increasing their temperature. Now, what you will do, you will place the thermometer here. Okay, you will place the thermometer here, that at what temperature it will start to melt. So as you can see, upon reaching a specific temperature, just suppose after reaching 100, 163 degrees centigrade. Just suppose, this is an example. At reaching 1163 degrees centigrade, this iron block will start to melt. ओके, कंप्लीटली मेल्ट नहीं होगा, इट विल स्टार्ट टू मेल्ट एट दिस टेम्परेचर. सो दिस टेम्परेचर इज कॉल्ड एज द मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. ओके, एट वट पॉइंट दिस इज, विच पॉइंट दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. देखिए इस पॉइंट पर आकर आयरन ब्लॉक मेल्ट होना स्टार्ट हुआ है. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट 1162 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, so this is not the melting point, because at this point it is completely a solid block. Okay, at upon reaching this temperature it will start to melt. Okay, completely melt नहीं हो जाएगा, it will start to melt, melt होना start होगा. So that point is called as the melting point at which solid material start to melt. Okay, now, so all the metals have high melting points, right? Then they are good electrical conductors. Electrical conductors means they can conduct electricity. Okay, good heat conductors means they can conduct electricity. Now, heat conductors का मतलब क्या है? Now as you can see, silver, आपके जो utensils होते हैं mostly, the utensils, or you can say the steel. Okay, steel. So your utensils that you will use for cooking purposes, they are usually made up of steel or silver, right? So we will say that steel is a metal and it has a high melting point as well as they are good heat conductor. So heat conductor का मतलब क्या है कि जब अगर आप इसको heat provide करें, so it will not melt upon reaching a highest temperature. You know that we are going to cook something, so we will continuously provide the heat to that specific utensil or specific pot that is usually made up of steel. So obviously when you will start providing heat to any substance, so after some time it will start to melt. Just suppose if you look at plastic. Okay, plastic, when you will provide heat, the plastic will suddenly start to melt. But if you talk about steel, the steel will not melt. Why it will not melt? Because it is a good heat conductor. ये heat conduct करता है. Heat conduct करके it will help us to cook our food. Okay, heat conduct करके कहाँ लेके जा रहा है? To, for the cooking purposes, we will use that heat for cooking purposes, right? So basically steel is a good heat conductor. And why we will use steel for utensils? Because it has a high melting point, means बहुत ज़्यादा high melting point है. Upon 6000 और मे बी 5000 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक इसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट है कि इस टेम्परेचर पे पहुंचने के बाद इट विल स्टार्ट मेल्ट. तो ऑब्वियसली एट आवर होम वी डू नॉट रेज द टेम्परेचर that much. Okay, so that's why steel is a good heat conductor. And like steel, all the metals are basically good heat conductor. Ductile means you can drawn into wires, इसके आप easily wires बना सकते हैं. Malleable can be beaten into shapes, you can give them any shape, they will not break down. Sonorous gives a rising sound when hit. जब आप इसको hit करते हैं तो it will gives a sound, right? So this is the metal. These are all the characteristics of metal. Now look at the other characters, the characteristics of non-metals. As compared to metals, non-metals have a dull appearance. They have low densities and low melting points. Just suppose if we talk about plastic, so plastic will melt easily. Okay, जरा सा temperature आप high कीजिए, plastic melt होना शुरू हो जाता है, right? Now after that, they are poor electrical conductor. Why they are poor electrical conductor? Can anyone explain it? Hmm? Now look at here. This is a wire. Okay, as you can see, Olive, can you see that this is a wire? Okay, this wire has a plastic coating. Okay, this wire has a plastic coating, and inside the wire you have a copper wire. Okay, copper मौजूद है. Copper basically is a metal and it will conduct electricity, right? Copper is a metal, it will conduct electricity. So अब इसके अंदर electricity pass हो रही है with the copper wire. Okay, if you will leave this wire without coating of plastic, so what you will do, if it is pure copper wire, so what you will do, when you will touch it, so you will get the current, आपको फौरन से current लगेगा. So we have coated it with the plastic. Okay, why we are giving the plastic coating here? Because plastic do not conduct electricity. Just suppose अब मैंने इसको touch किया हुआ है, हालांकि इसमें से मुसलसल electricity pass हो रही है, but I do not get any current. Why? Because it did not conduct electricity. right? So plastic is basically all the non-metals are poor electrical conductors. They do not conduct electricity, right? That's why we will use plastic. Also they have poor heat conductors. Obviously अगर आप इसको heat provide करेंगे इसी वायर को, easily burn हो जाएगा. Okay, they are non-ductile. You cannot make the shapes. Brittle, sonorous. Okay, so these are the all the these are all the characteristics of non-metals, right? Now so here you have some important characteristics of different metals and non-metals. Elements, appearance, thermal or electrical conductivity. Okay, these are the all the metals: zinc, aluminum, iron, copper, mercury. So all these are metals and they are good conductor. Okay, here you have carbon, but the form of carbon which is graphite. Carbon की भी आपके पास three different forms है. Graphite है, diamond है, you have another form, I don't remember right now. So the graphite की जो form है carbon की, it is basically a good conductor, not a best conductor, but it is a good conductor as compared to other non-metals, while other all remaining non-metals are poor electrical conductors. Okay, this time tidbit is very important. What is it? Pure metals are usually soft. जो आपके पास pure metals होते हैं, they are usually soft and weak. So we can make them we can make harder and stronger by mixing them with other metals or non-metals to form alloy. Just suppose steel की अगर हम बात करें तो steel is made up of iron and I think carbon, I think so. So basically this is the alloy of different metals. So what are alloy? This is a mixture of metals and non-metals, and then the element that will make from the mixture of metals and non-metals, they are usually stronger and harder, right? So this is the end of the lecture. In the next lecture I'm going to discuss something about this page. Okay, this page is very important and we will do some mcqs, inshallah. If you want to ask anything, if you have any question, you can ask me right now. Do you have any question, students? No. Why? Why do not you have any question? Sometimes it is very surprised from me that you are not interested in asking any question. Okay, let me check, Nuseba. Let me check. Okay, Haziq Farooq. Who is this Haziq Farooq? Who is this Haziq Farooq? Allah Hafiz. Okay, Allah Hafiz, student.